So we don't understand why side government wants to implement this motion if they're only focusing on people who are above 18. And they're saying that it's because like people below 18 already have restrictions. But why are they not allowing pornographic content in webs that can be accessed by children and adults? Then why not just not allow pornographic content to be accessed by websites that can only be accessed by adults, since there are already restrictions, right, in websites that can be accessed by both parties. So the Prime Minister stood up and they talked about how they want to implement this motion because they want to stop social problems from its roots, right? So we believe that if you think that this is the root of these social problems, then why not you ban porn altogether? Why do you choose where you want to ban porn and not just altogether if this is really the root of the problem? But side opposition does not believe that this is the root of the social problems. And they talked about how not allowing news filtering and pornographic content means the post of the body, which is for us like not really clear. Like what do they mean by the post of body? Like, you know, people wearing clothes, does that mean pornographic content too? So, and like we want to question them, like how do you want to define what is pornographic? Like how do you draw the line between if something is pornographic or indecent? Like a lot of people might find things that they find indecent, for example, like short skirt, as pornographic. Like so we believe that their proposal is not feasible because you can't really define what's pornographic, and because it's very subjective. But and then they talked about how this influences daily life. How when you watch a lot of porn, you have this desire to do more sexual activities, or like there's these social problems like raping people, sex before marriage and stuff. So we believe that a lot of people actually watch porn, Mr. Speaker, but only a minority of them actually turn out to become criminals. Only a minority of them have social problems. So we believe that pornography is not what actually affects their social life or their behavior in the real world itself. It's actually their mentality. It's actually what the way they've been raised. It's their preference. So before I move on to my point, yeah.
Two things to say. First of all, we believe that the ethics of the current generation is actually deteriorating because of the internet. Secondly, when we say that we are trying to solve this problem for the rules, we're talking about the possibility, the idea that the mental state of a person is shaped during his younger age.
So, okay. Wait, can you repeat your line?
First of all, we said that we believe that the ethics of the current generation is actually deteriorating because of the internet, because of the exposure to the internet. Secondly, we say that we want to solve the problems of rules because we believe that during the younger age, that is when we were shaped.
Okay, so we believe that the ethics has been deteriorating because of these pornographic content. But you haven't clearly explained the link between pornography and their social behavior. You haven't clearly explained how the harms are related to these pornographic content. So what does side opposition want today? We want to protect the freedom of everyone, and we want to protect the freedom because we believe that this freedom is important for the future. So our model is that we want parents itself to monitor these children, and we want the adults to keep their rights to be able to access these pornographic content. Sit down. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the freedom of expression. And the second thing we're going to talk about is progress and feasibility and parental rights. So moving on. The first point is about freedom of expression. So we believe that by implementing this motion, you're actually restricting the freedom for adults to access these contents. So since they didn't state what country they're going to implement this motion in, I'm assuming that it's some country that adults can access, are allowed to access these pornographic content legally. So a lot of people actually like seeing these pornographic content, but some people don't find it appropriate for their children to see it. So like, even though they find it, some people find it indecent to be viewed, we believe that we don't see why we should cater to these people's preference. Because if you start catering to some people's preference, like for example, like conservatives find a lot of things indecent to them and pornography, then you would then this thing would be pushed in the future. Like for example, you see like pornography is very subjective, and some parents like might find people who wear short length t-shirts are pornography. So like if this continues, like the things such as forcing people to wear the hijab in the future, or forcing people to cover up would actually happen, because now, because at the first place, you're catering to these people's preferences, whereas it varies in everyone. And so we believe that you shouldn't start this, because freedom of expression is all about it's all about you having the freedom to express whatever you want and access the things that you need to express. And so the second thing is about progress. So we believe that in the Victorian era, people who showed people who showed like a little bit of skin would be considered as a whore or a prostitute. Like, because in that age, people don't actually accept the fact that some people are not dressing like how everyone else is. So thanks to the progress that we have coming from the acceptance of people towards these things, people start accepting people who wear short skirts, and they stop discriminating those who believe in their freedom of expression. So since we believe that implementing this motion is actually restricting one's freedom of expression or freedom to access any of these contents that would generally lead them to be more accepting of these things, if the government had done things like this in the past, people would still be thinking like cheerleaders are prostitutes, or if we people who cheerleaders as prostitutes. So if we are supposed to cater this much to what some people find indecent, this would lead to the pushing of idea of forcing people to dress the way they need, like catering to the things that people prefer, which varies differently. So we believe that progress would never happen if you suppress the freedom of expression. Therefore, we believe that this motion should